Well, this video has certainly been a long time coming. I've just been really fucking lazy about making it. So, despite my gripes that I've made in previous videos about Overwatch, I decided to actually try to get into it again. This was about a month and a half ago. Actually, yeah, about a month and a half ago. Shortly after my move. Which, for anybody who doesn't know, I recently moved, so that kind of killed a lot of time and whatnot. But anyway, decided to try to get back into it, and it's definitely better than it used to be, but it still does not live up to the hype and the fun that I used to have with it. I am one of the people that still says that the last time it was really fun was after Retribution first came out, and since then it's just been kind of... for me, like, the balancing and whatnot, I mean, I don't really have too much of an issue with where it's at. There are still some characters that are really, really fucking annoying to have to go against, especially when I'm stuck playing fucking support. But, like, for the most part, it's really more just, at least from in my experience, it's more just being aware that, oh, hey, there's a Doomfist heading this way. I should not let him, be able to flank me like that. I should know, pay attention to the fact that he's coming so I can at least try to have a teammate try to help me or something. Which, of course, doesn't always happen because, RNG teammates. And with the Asia server, nobody touches the voice chat, like, ever. Although, to be fair, that is likely due to, there's a lot of language differences. Not everybody speaks, English, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. So, it's only fair that the VC doesn't get used a whole lot, but I don't really get to use the text chat a whole lot, but that's because I'm generally one of the only ones there that speaks English, and the one time there's someone else in my lobby that can speak Japanese, either they're on the other team, or we're outnumbered by teammates that only speak Korean. So, at least for me on the Asia server, communication is still terrible. But one thing that's definitely I've noticed a lot is there's a lot more hackers, like a lot, and they're really obvious, so obvious. It's not even funny. Like, I'm talking so obvious that, like, if you were to put that, like, take that same thing and put it into, like, Counter-Strike, it would immediately get picked up by an anti-cheat. It's so blatant. And of course, the thing that I've been seeing even more than the hackers is the Smurf accounts, which are also blatantly obvious, because for someone as low a level of an account as they are, they sure seem to be performing a lot better than most people with that low of a level of an account. And they mysteriously have conveniently good aim and such, which, I mean, part of that could be, natural skill or whatever, but it's usually, especially if it's a more mechanically demanding character, like, say, Tracer, it's pretty obvious when it's a Smurf account. But the other issue with Smurf accounts, of course, and this has been, I've seen memes about this recently, is that because there's so many of them, they're making the queue times longer for everybody. Because instead of just sticking to their own ranks, where they'd have to wait a longer time just because there's less of them anyway, they instead all flood, plat and below where I'm at. And of course, because there's so many of them all flooding that, makes everybody's, queue time that much longer. Like, I'm sorry, but even with one of the little fast pass tickets, I should not have to wait 10 plus minutes for a support game. And even, it's closer to 20 for a DPS game. Literally the only thing, time I'm not waiting more than like 10 minutes for a game is if I want to play tank. And tank is still a mess and not really that fun. At least to me. Like, I mean, like, it can be fun, but it's... I guess this is going to kind of segue into the community, just because whenever I play tank, I always seem to get the most annoyingly toxic teammates that will instantly flame me for anything, even if, like, I was dead in spawn. Where the fuck were you? I was dead. Get the same thing with support. Why wasn't he getting healed? Because you idiots didn't protect me, and I was the first one to be dead, killed. So. I don't know. Even despite, everything, Overwatch, it seems to still be a very elitist community, which makes no sense because it's supposed to be a team game. You can be like a god tier Widowmaker or something, but if your teammates either don't help you or don't play the objective or anything. It's not going to matter. So the other thing that's been bugging me is that even because like, and I'm only pointing this out just because we recently had the archives event. There was literally nothing new. Like there was just the skins and the cosmetics. Who cares? For the event, this event, they didn't even add any new challenges or anything. They literally just regurgitated the same ones we got last year. And sure, the challenges are fun and it's different than just the usual PvE stuff. At the same time, it's literally just the same thing we had last year. I mean, at least with Junkenstein, this year we got this recent one we got the new challenge modes, and those were actually pretty fun. But it just sucks that they're not updating it much, which I understand they're probably just putting more of the effort towards Overwatch 2. But at this point, pretty much everybody's not expecting it to come out till like late next year, if even next year. So like maybe you can have some of the stuff you're working on come our way, just so that we can actually have something to keep us busy while we're waiting. Especially because since the multiplayer is just going to share, it's going to be Overwatch 1 and 2. The multiplayer are going to be, it's not going to matter which version of the game you're on for the multiplayer. Like, why not send some of the new stuff our way? It'll, give us something, it'll literally just give us something to do while we're stuck waiting. Because the only thing we're really waiting for is just the PvE expansion pack. The multiplayer is, basically all the multiplayer is going to be is just new maps. Probably some hero, maybe a couple hero reworks, maybe some new heroes, but other than that, it's going to be basically the exact same. So I don't see why they can't have some of the new stuff they're working on be given to us now to actually give us something to do, I don't know. It's just, like, it's definitely been more fun recently than it has been in the last couple of years, but I think it's safe to say I'm probably going to have to uninstall it again for a while, just because like the game itself is fine, the balance is fine, I don't have too much issue with that, but the community is just terrible. I don't know how it's gotten so much worse since the last time I tried to get back into it, but it's just gotten so much worse, and I, quite frankly, just don't have the patience to deal with it. I have other shit to do, especially now that I'm working, a full-time job. Like, if I wanted to deal with toxic assholes, I would have stayed in the United States.